Hello, everyone. Hollywood loves its fairy tales. But behind the spotlight, it hides its wars. And few were as explosive as this one. Behind the warm smile of Sally Field, America's sweetheart, burned a fury no one saw coming. She was kind, graceful, and professional. Until one movie set pushed her to the edge. What started as a dream job became a battlefield. A place where tears, tempers, and pride collided. This is the untold truth of Sally Field versus Tommy Lee Jones. A feud so fierce it left scars that never healed. Stay with me, because this story isn't just about rivalry. It's about survival, strength, and how one woman took on Hollywood, and won. Sally Margaret Field was born on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California. Her childhood wasn't one of luxury or peace. Her mother, Margaret Field, was an actress, and her stepfather, Jock Mahoney, was a stuntman and actor. The world of show business surrounded her from a young age, but it was far from glamorous. Living in a blended Hollywood family brought both opportunity and struggle. Sally described herself as shy and insecure, a girl trying to find her place in a noisy, demanding world. But even as a child, she had something rare, a spark of authenticity that made her unforgettable. After graduating from Birmingham High School, Sally took a daring leap toward stardom. At just 19, she landed her first major role in the TV sitcom Gidget, where she played a lively teenage surfer. The show only lasted one season, but it was enough to make her a household name. Her charm was effortless, her smile genuine, and her spirit contagious. Behind her bright smile, Sally Field was fighting to be seen for who she truly was. Early fame placed her in the role of the cute, bubbly girl next door. Cherished, but underestimated. When she starred as Sister Bertree in The Flying Nun, 1967 to 1970, she became a household name. Yet the success left her feeling trapped. The role brought adoration, but little respect. And Sally later confessed that it made her feel invisible, as though the world loved a version of her that wasn't real. Determined to transform her career, she joined the Actors Studio and trained under the legendary Lee Strasberg, who helped her unlock her rawest emotions. That work paid off when she delivered a groundbreaking performance in Sybil, 1976, portraying a woman with 16 personalities. It tested every ounce of her ability and earned her an Emmy Award, proving she was more than a sitcom star. Then came her career-defining moment. Norma Ray, 1979. Standing on a factory table holding a union sign, Sally's power radiated through the screen. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress, marking her arrival as a Hollywood force. Her personal life, however, was more complicated. She fell into a passionate yet turbulent relationship with Burt Reynolds, starring together in Smokey and The Bandit and The End. Though Burt later called her the love of my life, Sally described their relationship as loving but suffocating in her 2018 memoir, In Pieces. Earlier, she had married Stephen Craig in 1968 and had two sons, Peter Craig and Eli Craig, both of whom found success in the film industry. Through every triumph and hardship, her children remained her grounding source of love and pride. In 1984, she married film producer Alan Greisman, and together they had a son, Sam Greisman, born in 1987. Sally once said that motherhood was what kept her grounded in a world of chaos. "My children saved me," she said. "They reminded me who I was." But the marriage, like her previous ones, didn't last. They divorced in 1994. Still, her devotion to her sons never wavered. She often described motherhood as her proudest role. Among her many experiences, one stood out as particularly bitter. Her clash with Tommy Lee Jones on the set of Back Roads, 1981. Both were talented, both intense, and both unwilling to bend. What started as creative tension quickly turned into open hostility. Sally later admitted, "I truly hated him more than anyone I'd ever worked with." Their acting styles couldn't have been more different. Tommy Lee Jones was brooding, methodical, and often dismissive. Sally Field was collaborative, emotionally open, and believed in mutual respect. He treated her coldly, sometimes condescendingly, and she refused to be intimidated. "He acted like I didn't know what I was doing," she said. It was insulting. Crew members described the set as tense and exhausting. Every glance, every argument between them carried real anger. Ironically, that same hostility gave their on-screen chemistry a rare edge. Critics praised the film's raw emotion, unaware that the tension wasn't scripted. It was real. When the cameras stopped rolling, Sally Field made one thing clear. She would never work with Tommy Lee Jones again. Even decades later, she didn't backtrack. "He's talented," she said, "but talent doesn't excuse cruelty." Her honesty shocked Hollywood, but it also earned her respect. In an industry built on pretense, Sally spoke the truth. She wasn't afraid to call out bad behavior, even if it came from powerful men. That courage became her trademark. Through the 1980s and beyond, Sally Field continued to dominate screens with grace and depth. In Places in the Heart, 1984, she delivered another Oscar-winning performance, playing a widow who fights to save her farm during the Great Depression. Once again, she embodied resilience and humanity, earning her second Academy Award for Best Actress. In Steel Magnolias, 1989, she portrayed a mother enduring the unimaginable loss of her daughter. A performance so heartfelt, it left audiences in tears. Then came Forrest Gump, 1994, where she played the unforgettable Mrs. Gump, the loving, wise mother who shaped one of cinema's most iconic characters. The line, "Life is like a box of chocolates," still echoes through generations, and much of its warmth came from Sally's genuine tenderness. In the 2000s, she returned to television and earned new acclaim for her work in Brothers and Sisters, Sie Freundin, winning another Emmy Award for her portrayal of Nora Walker, the matriarch of a modern, complicated family. On Broadway, she captivated audiences in The Glass Menagerie, and in 2012, she portrayed Mary Todd Lincoln in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln, earning yet another Oscar nomination. Even in her 70s, Sally Field showed no sign of slowing down. Her passion for acting remained undiminished, and her performances carried the same honesty that had defined her from the very beginning. Off-screen, Sally Field used her voice to advocate for others. She became a powerful supporter of women's rights, LGBTQ+ equality, and mental health awareness. Her openness about her own struggles with self-esteem and aging inspired millions. She often said, "You don't survive by pretending you're perfect. You survive by being real." In 2018, she released her deeply personal memoir, In Pieces, revealing the truth behind the Hollywood glamour, the fears, the heartbreaks, and the triumphs. She wrote about her relationships, her pain, and the courage it took to speak her truth. Readers praised her honesty, calling the book a masterclass in vulnerability. Through it all, Sally reminded the world that authenticity is the most powerful form of strength. From Gidget to Norma Ray, from the Flying Nun to Lincoln, Sally Field's journey is one of transformation and resilience. She refused to be boxed in by Hollywood's expectations. Every time the industry tried to define her, she redefined herself. She taught the world that vulnerability is not weakness, it's power. That honesty, even when uncomfortable, can change hearts. In a business built on illusion, Sally Field built a legacy on truth. She showed that being America's sweetheart didn't mean being soft. It meant being strong enough to stay kind in a world that often wasn't. She is a symbol of grace, courage, and authenticity. Even today, her name carries weight not just for her awards, but for her integrity. Sally Field didn't just survive Hollywood, she conquered it on her own terms. Through heartbreak and triumph, Sally Field never stopped believing in herself or in the power of storytelling. Her courage, honesty, and spirit continue to inspire millions around the world. If her story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories. Because every star has a struggle, and every struggle hides a story worth telling. Thanks for watching.